Good morning, folks. Today is Sunday, and I'm doing my Sunday ritual as you can see. Today, I'm going to talk to you about something I struggled for a long, long time. It's called ADHD. 10% of the population will have ADHD. It's a supreme power that you can harness only if you know that you have got this problem and you know what to do. Unfortunately, majority of this will not achieve their full potential because nobody would diagnose ADHD, or if they diagnose ADHD, they will go straight to medicine and calm them down. And that's not needed because this is something that you can change, because the ADHD brain is unique. Our brain works like a race car engine, but we don't know how to stop. The brakes of our engine is very, very weak, like a push car, whereas our horsepower is tremendous. And there are two types of network in the brain, as you know. One is called default mode network, a DMN, which is a dreamy, wandering mind state, which is the creativity when you tap into your subconscious and all the experience, and then you see pattern recognition, and you recognize patterns, and you see connections, and you come to innovative solution out of the box, and everybody say, how did you think about that? So that's the benefit of default mode network. The problem is that we get stuck. An ADHD brain, if you are in default mode network, you will get stuck in the daydreaming and you will forget all the stuff that you have committed to do. Does it make sense? And the other mode is hyperacute focus. The problem is that when an ADHD brain is in that focus, the days and months can go and you can be lost in that project, oblivious to all other responsibility. So it's about balance and routines, which ADHD does not like. Okay, ADHD does not want to check email every day. Okay, ADHD doesn't want to do this every day, or that every week, or that every month. Income tax return will not get done. Appraisal will not get done because these are boring stuff, but this is life's necessity. Taxman will come and your appraiser will tell you off. I remember once I got 3 emails, which obviously I ignored, from my medical director 4 years ago. And then finally he texted me, Dave, I'm going to stop your salary if you don't do your appraisal. Now, normally appraisal takes hours and hours and hours of doing. I sat down one weekend, I think 6 hours. I finished my appraisal. Next day, I told my appraiser, "Come on, let's have a chat. Let's do it." And he said, "Fine, looks okay." So that's what ADHD brain is capable of. If you push us to a corner, then the amount of productivity you will see will make you dizzy, and you will say, where all this energy was there? That energy was there all the time, but it was distracted in million directions. That's what ADHD do. If you don't know what is ADHD, it's called attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Yeah. So although it says hyperactivity, some of the ADHD will not seem like hyperactive. Their brain is hyperactive, but their movement, body movement, might not be hyperactive. But they're talking to you, but they're thinking something else. Does it make sense? So ADHD people's friends will always think this man is not listening. Yeah, this man is thinking something else. But actually, I have listened to you because you're too slow. My brain is thinking 2.5 speed and you're speaking 0.5. So ADHD brain will always say, what's the summary? What's the summary? Because I want to get to the bottom of the problem and move on. Okay, so if you speak to an ADHD, give them the summary first. So put in a context. If you keep on rambling like my son does, my mother used to do, blah 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 blah. So tell me what's the end? It doesn't mean that we don't like drama and unfolding of drama. I want to put everything in context. I cannot follow you. Similarly, ADHD brain will not like reading big chapters, because if I want to hyperfocus, I can do it 5 times better than you. Okay, so if I want to finish a book, I will finish a book in, I don't know, I can finish a chapter in 5 minutes, only if I want to. I have got that capability. But at other times, you will feel like you're dyslexic, You don't want to read your emails. You don't want to read a project report because you don't want to, but if you believe in that and if you really push to that, your project report is done, like this. Now, obviously, if it's a deadline issue and you're doing it, the output might not be that brilliant, but to be honest, even if that is the case, ADHD output, our output is twice better quality than any other people who will spend hours doing it. So there is a thing called stage mere dilo. This is a Bengali word. Stage mere dilo. Stage means, stage. So these people will never rehearse the play, the drama, but they will come up to the stage and do a super performance in the stage. So that's what ADHD does. And problem is that 90% of the population is not ADHD, so they won't understand ADHD. And as a result, ADHD will suffer. They will feel they are not loved, they are not appreciated, people don't understand their innovative brain, and they think they are 5 years ahead of everybody. They should have born in the next century, then people would appreciate them. So that's a sad thing. So ADHD need a lot of vitamin C. You have to read this book. Dr. Ratty, I forgot the name of the other doctor, the psychiatrist, and it's a fantastic book. It's like a life-changing book, ADHD 2.0. You must buy and read this book if you're looking after a kid with ADHD or a man with ADHD, a woman with ADHD, and that if what I'm saying is resonating with somebody or you think it is you, go buy this book, read this book page to page. Okay, it's a life-changing book. So the other thing, the ADHD will have a very poor developed cerebellum. Now, cerebellum, as you know, is a huge second brain on the back of the brain, which we traditionally got told that this is the coordination. If you're drunk, you walk like a drunk person, that's when your cerebellum is not working very well. And if your cerebellum is atrophied, then your balance will be bad. So people with ADHD will have underdeveloped cerebellum. So balancing exercise. And interestingly, I have found this myself. So as I was reading the book, I was thinking, wow, because I always try to put my socks on standing on one leg. And somehow I found that is very cathartic for me. I don't know, it will not make any sense for a non-ADHD brain. And the other thing is that ADHD always wants to make connection because they understand they are only 10%, the other 90% will need to accept them, otherwise they will feel lonely. So they always look for love and connection, and they will go out of their way to make friends. They will even feed strangers to be friends with them. And this is something that I have seen all my life, and other people, the 90%, will look at very suspiciously at you. Why this man is so trying to get so close? Obviously, if it's a woman, they might think that you're getting interested in them. But if it's a man, it's why the man is so friendly? Why the man is taking so much interest in my personal life or my life in general? Why the man is asking me probing questions about me? We just met him for 2 minutes, So this is the problem with 90%, because they don't understand we are ADHD. We want to make connection because we want to feel connected. We don't feel connected. And as a result, if you're in a bad, adverse environment, then this will lead to depression, real bad depression. And in fact, some of the texts that I have sent to my other colleagues, including psychiatrists, and you will be pushed to think that I'm feeling so sad, feeling so disconnected, I feel nobody loves me, and all that stuff. This is all because you think that nobody understands you. I'm doing so much stuff for this person, and why this person is not realizing what I'm doing for that person, Anyway, so now that you know that this is the fact, then you will not get disheartened if that person doesn't respond to you. You do your bit. You love them, you care for them, you show interest in them. Yes, knowing that it will not, or it might not be reciprocated. But that's it. But don't stop being curious about other people in a friendly way. Okay? Learn about all the lives around you. Be connected. And Dr. Retty mentioned this is your vitamin C for connection. It's like vitamin C. We all need vitamin C. This is your connection, and surround your life with lots of routine. That I realized that if I put a structure to my day, then I will not get distracted in either hyperfocus mode or DMN mode, default mode network. So the problem is that, remember, our breaks are poor. So if I am hyperfocused into something, time will be gone. I'll be lost in the thought, I'll be in the flow. But the problem is then I have to pick up my son, I have to go to, like, I had a meeting with a vet to take my dog coffee at 6:30. I begged for this appointment. I put it on the diary. But I got so hyper focused in running, I think I was running, yeah, completely forgotten. And I apologized profusely, but I forgotten. So when you're hyper focused, when you're daydreaming, we don't have any break. So the break is alarm. You need to set a lot of alarms around you. You need to be very strict, like ruthless with your time management. That if it's Sunday morning, I will be doing this to my knives, my Japanese beautiful knives. Can you see? Expensive, not to the top end, but I love my knives. So it's a whetstone. You just sharpen the knife every Sunday. Why Sunday? Because it's a structure and we don't like structures. Every Sunday you wash, you boil all your kitchen clothes. This is the yellow clothes for drying my washed utensils, and then this is my green for tabletops and other surfaces, and there is a pink cloth. So initially the pink cloth was the one I was doing for this, but I am liking this now for this job. Okay, I will cook every morning because that's my flow. I will do rituals every morning. Now, there is no need for rituals in normal people, but for ADHD, because we hate rituals, we have to do rituals. Okay? So you wake up at 5 o'clock, do rituals. Okay? And ADHD brain loves coffee, I think. My dog's name is Coffee. I love coffee. This weekend, to celebrate Queen's Jubilee celebration, I took my daughter and my wife to London. See, this is very expensive. I mean, it's a lot of money for coffee. But just these pictures could have sold me the coffee. I love animals. Can you see the beautiful? And I'm going to keep this even if the coffees are finished. Pretend that they're still there. Anyway, and this is something I bought at the same trip. This from John Lewis. It's called AeroPress. No, sorry. Did I? No, I bought it not from John Lewis, but from a coffee shop called Lush. It's a soap smelly shop, very nice smell. But on the first floor there was a coffee shop, and I saw this, and it's an impulse. Yeah, that's something ADHD does. They do a lot of impulsive stuff. So in some way, you might find some similarity between ADHD and bipolar, because they are either hyperfocus or they are wandering away. They are feeling lonely, sad if they're not connecting. And that's why you have to make sure that you put a lot of connection around you. You join clubs and you put a lot of structure in your life, and you do a lot of balancing acts like standing on one leg, closing your eyes, or play karate or martial arts or dance, because dancing and martial arts are very good for balance. And if you don't like martial arts or dance, at least do yoga. There's a lot of yoga posture particularly focused for improving balancing. So that's it. This is a primer, but there are 4 steps in that book. Dr. Ratti and his colleague has mentioned, if you have got ADHD, how to extract the superpower, how to extract the whole horsepower and limit the brakes, make the brakes suitable for a horsepower engine, high horsepower engine, and learn how to brake, learn how to stop, learn how to do pratyahara. I done another video called how to withdraw. So withdraw from social media for 5 days, for 1 week. I did one. So your brain will inherently subconsciously tell you this will be good for you. So this Lent, I withdrew from posting anything in WhatsApp group. I was posting one-to-one because we need this for work purpose and other purposes. A lot of my patients will be WhatsApping me, my colleagues will be WhatsApping. So I did that, but I won't post anything in a group. Although I cheated a bit because sometime I posted, somebody said, can you please repost it, retweet it to the group. Unfortunately, either they love me or respect me or whatever, they did it, and that was my cheat way of getting into the group posting. I said, yeah. Anyway, so you understand what I'm trying to say, yeah? If you have got ADHD, you're 10% of the population. Learn how to flourish. Do not stop. Medicine, if your doctor feels you need to take medicine, but I don't take any medicine, and this is so good. This imagine, I mean, you've got superpower. Somebody just need to tell you how to control your brain. That's all you need to know. Cerebellum is also the most prolific part of the brain, in the sense that it is the most neuroplastic. So you can modify your cerebellum in any way you want to. You can even learn how to walk on a tightrope, and that's my next thing, to go to the final level of balancing. Because if you can walk on a tightrope, you know what is a tightrope walking? You're balancing. That's the height of balance. You're aware of your full body, and your cerebellum is so good. Okay, happy cerebellum, happy ADHD. Keep on doing your Sunday rituals. On Sunday, I wipe the floor with wet wipe. I fertilize all my plants. I wash my car. Here you go. And I do some weekly review. I call my sabbath. The Sunday is the day of rest. I wash coffee stuff, and I do 2 sets of laundry. I will mow the garden. And see, a normal person will not be able to be as productive. See, that was 2 weeks ago. As productive as an ADHD brain can be. And people say, do you not sleep? Yes, we do. So how can we get so much stuff done? Because we are ADHD.